Ladies and gentlemen, have you ever noticed that the moment you start trying to fix everything and everyone around you, life seems to get heavier? You pour yourself out for others, trying to make everyone happy, yet somehow you end up feeling drained, confused, and forgotten. Here's the truth most people never dare to face. You cannot pour from an empty cup. You cannot pour from an empty cup. This truth is simple, yet profoundly transformative when fully understood. Many people spend their lives trying to meet everyone else's needs, parents trying to satisfy their children, partners trying to fix each other, leaders trying to hold everything together. But in the process, they neglect the most important person in their own world, themselves. When your own inner cup is empty, you have nothing genuine left to give. You may still give your time, your energy, and even your love, but it will be given from exhaustion, not abundance. The quality of what you give will always reflect the state of the vessel from which it flows. When you are running on fumes, every demand from others feels heavier, every challenge feels overwhelming, and every disappointment feels more personal. You begin to live reactively rather than creatively, because you are trying to draw water from a well that has gone dry. Self-care is not about indulgence, it is about maintenance of the spirit. To fill your own cup means to reconnect with your center, to restore your peace, and to remember who you are beneath all the noise and expectations. It means taking the time to nurture your mind, body, and soul, not because the world will stop if you don't, but because your inner world will crumble if you continue to ignore it. There is a spiritual law at work here. You cannot give what you do not have. If you want to give love, you must first feel love within. If you wish to offer patience, you must cultivate calm within your own heart. If you want to inspire others, you must first ignite your own spirit. When your cup is full, everything you share flows naturally, effortlessly, and authentically. There is no struggle in giving when you are overflowing. In fact, the more you fill yourself, the more you have to give. The process of filling your cup requires conscious attention. It may involve solitude, prayer, reflection, or simply time spent doing what brings you joy. It's about giving yourself permission to pause, to breathe, and to listen to your inner needs. Too many people view self-care as a luxury when it is actually a responsibility. The more whole you are, the more whole your relationships become, and the more impact you can have in the world. When you fill your own cup, you no longer seek from others what you already carry within. You give because you are full, not because you are empty. Self-focus is not selfishness, it's self-alignment. Many people grow up believing that to focus on themselves is somehow wrong, that it means ignoring others or being self-centered. But in truth, self-focus is not about exclusion, it's about balance. It's about bringing your thoughts, emotions, and actions into harmony, so that you can live from a place of authenticity and clarity. When you focus on yourself in this way, you are not rejecting the world. You are preparing yourself to meet it with greater strength and wisdom. Self-alignment begins when you stop trying to live by other people's expectations and start listening to the quiet guidance within you. Every individual has an inner compass, an intuitive sense of what feels right, what nourishes the soul, and what brings peace. But that compass becomes clouded when life becomes a constant reaction to others, when you are too busy pleasing, proving, or comparing. True self-focus means pausing long enough to ask, what feels right for me, and then having the courage to honor that answer. This is not selfishness, it is self-respect. When you are aligned with yourself, your energy becomes clear and grounded. You no longer waste time chasing validation or approval. Instead, your actions come from intention, not insecurity. You begin to understand that the best gift you can offer anyone, your family, your work, your community, is your full, authentic presence, and authenticity can only arise from alignment. When your inner world and outer actions match, you create a vibration of honesty that others can feel. People are naturally drawn to those who live in integrity with themselves because such individuals radiate calm confidence. The world often confuses self-focus with self-importance, yet the two are entirely different. Self-importance says, I am better than others. Self-alignment says, I honor who I am so I can honor others more deeply. When you know yourself, you become less judgmental, less controlling, and more compassionate. You recognize that everyone is walking their own path of alignment too. In this sense, self-focus becomes a form of service. It helps you bring your best self to every interaction, decision, and challenge. Living in alignment doesn't mean life will be without struggle, but it does mean that even in struggle, you won't lose yourself. You'll face challenges not from confusion, but from clarity. You'll respond to others not from obligation, but from genuine care. And the more aligned you are, the more naturally your life begins to flow, because everything you do springs from a centered, conscious place within you. Listening to your inner voice is one of the most powerful yet often overlooked practices in personal growth. In a world filled with endless opinions, advice, and noise, it can be difficult to hear the quiet whisper that comes from within. Yet that inner voice is the compass of your soul, guiding you toward the life that is meant for you. It speaks in moments of stillness, through intuition, through a sudden sense of peace or discomfort, and through the quiet knowing that doesn't need to be proven. When you learn to listen to it, you begin to live not from fear or pressure, but from truth. Many people live disconnected from their inner guidance because they've been conditioned to seek answers outside themselves. From an early age, we are taught to look to others for validation, to measure our worth by comparison, and to follow paths that may not align with our nature. Over time, this creates confusion and inner conflict. The more we ignore that small inner voice, the louder the world becomes, until we can no longer distinguish what is truly ours from what we've been told to believe. But that voice never disappears. It waits patiently beneath the noise, always ready to lead us back to ourselves the moment we become quiet enough to listen. Listening to your inner voice requires trust. It means believing that you are already equipped with the wisdom you need to make the right decisions. It may not always speak in full sentences or logical explanations. It often comes as a feeling, a nudge, or a sense of knowing. And while it may sometimes lead you away from what is comfortable, it will always lead you toward what is authentic. The more you trust that voice, the stronger it becomes. The less you listen, the quieter it grows. Like any relationship, your connection to your inner guidance deepens with attention and faith. This inner voice is your link to peace. It helps you navigate chaos without losing your center. It reminds you of who you are when the world tries to make you forget. When you follow it, life begins to unfold more harmoniously because you're no longer moving against your own truth. The external world may still challenge you, but inside, you remain steady. You stop living a life designed to impress others and start living one that fulfills your soul. Listening to your inner voice is not about ignoring the world. It's about understanding that your greatest teacher has always been within you. Your light serves others naturally. You don't need to force it, announce it, or prove it. When you are centered in your truth and living from a place of inner peace, your very presence becomes a source of inspiration. Just as the sun doesn't try to shine, it simply does. You too were created to radiate light. This light is your joy, your authenticity, your compassion, and your quiet confidence. It's the energy that flows effortlessly from you when you are aligned with your true self. You become a living reminder to others of what's possible when a person chooses to live fully awake. Many people mistakenly believe that to serve others, they must sacrifice themselves or constantly strive to be seen as good. But real service doesn't come from depletion, it flows from abundance. When your cup is full, your love spills over naturally. You don't need to make grand gestures or seek recognition because your energy alone uplifts those around you. A calm and grounded person can shift an entire room just by being present. A kind word spoken from a genuine heart carries more power than 1,000 words said with pretense. That is the beauty of light. It doesn't compete, it simply illuminates. Your light is most visible when you live truthfully. When you stop pretending, stop hiding, and start embracing who you are, something beautiful happens. You give others permission to do the same. Every time you act with honesty instead of fear, every time you choose compassion over criticism, and every time you extend kindness instead of judgment, your light grows brighter. And others, often without realizing it, feel that warmth and begin to remember their own light. In this way, you become a silent teacher, guiding not through words but through example. The world doesn't need more people trying to change others. It needs more people committed to changing themselves, to becoming so aligned with love and peace that their energy becomes contagious. When you live in this state, your light naturally finds those who need it most. You might never know whose heart you've touched, whose hope you've restored, or whose path you've illuminated, but the impact is real. The universe always amplifies genuine light. You don't have to chase opportunities to serve. They will be drawn to you because light always attracts. To serve others is not to lose yourself in their darkness, but to remain so connected to your own light that they can find their way out. Withdrawing your energy from external noise is one of the most liberating acts you can perform for your spirit. The world is constantly demanding your attention, social media updates, opinions from others, endless comparisons, and the pressure to always be doing more. It becomes easy to lose touch with yourself when your energy is scattered in 100 different directions. You begin to live reactively, shaped by what others think or expect, rather than consciously guided by your own truth. To reclaim your peace, you must learn to pull your focus back from that noise and redirect it inward toward the quiet strength that lives within you. External noise is seductive because it gives the illusion of importance. It makes you feel connected, relevant, even validated for a while. But beneath that stimulation lies exhaustion. The constant influx of opinions and expectations drains your emotional and mental reserve. You start measuring your worth by comparisons and forget that you already have everything you need to feel complete. The moment you withdraw your energy from the external world, even briefly, you begin to feel the difference. The static fades, the anxiety softens, and a sense of calm clarity returns. You realize that most of what you worried about wasn't even yours to carry. This withdrawal is not about isolation or indifference. It's about discernment. It means knowing when to listen and when to step away. It means giving yourself permission to rest from the noise of others so you can hear the stillness of your own soul. When you disconnect from the chaos, you reconnect with your intuition. You rediscover what truly matters to you, what brings peace instead of pressure, and what fills you instead of drains you. You start to live from an inner rhythm that is steady and authentic rather than from the rhythm imposed by the world's pace. Each time you pull back your energy from distractions, you reclaim a part of yourself that was lost to noise. You begin to create boundaries not as walls, but as spaces of respect where your energy can breathe. You no longer feel the need to explain yourself or compete for attention. Your confidence grows quietly from within, fed by the peace that comes from alignment. The more you practice this, the more grounded you become, and soon the world's chaos no longer dictates your emotions. Instead, you move through life as a calm observer, focused, centered, and fully present in your own power. Caring for yourself is the greatest gift you can give to the world because when you nurture your own well-being, you become a source of peace, love, and strength for others. Many people believe that self-care is selfish or unnecessary, that putting themselves first somehow means neglecting those they love. But true self-care is not about neglecting anyone. It's about ensuring that you have the emotional, physical, and spiritual energy to give meaningfully. When you are depleted, you offer fragments of yourself to others. When you are whole, you offer presence, understanding, and genuine love. When you care for yourself, you set a powerful example. You show others that it is possible to honor one's needs without guilt and to live a life guided by balance rather than exhaustion. The people around you notice when you move from peace rather than pressure, when your words carry kindness rather than resentment, and when your actions come from clarity rather than confusion. You teach others silently but profoundly that self-love is not vanity, it is vitality. It is the foundation upon which healthy relationships, meaningful work, and authentic living are built. Self-care begins with awareness. It's the willingness to ask yourself what you truly need instead of what others expect from you. It might mean resting when you're tired, saying no when something drains your energy, or spending time doing what brings you joy. It could mean nourishing your body, quieting your mind, or surrounding yourself with people who uplift you. Each act of self-care, no matter how small, becomes a declaration that you matter, that your life and energy are valuable. Over time, this mindset transforms the way you interact with the world. A person who takes care of themselves radiates calm and balance. They are not easily swayed by negativity or consumed by chaos because they are anchored within. Their energy uplifts others naturally, without effort. In caring for yourself, you expand your capacity to care for others. You become more patient, more compassionate, and more resilient. You listen more deeply, love more freely, and give more generously.